Hi, good evening. It's John again. Gonna play some Immaculate. Hopefully better than yesterday. I took forever to get timed version over 2 minutes, and then on the Rarity version, I was not able to come up with players who throw no hitters and were rare or whatever it was. It was players with one team. Rough game all the way around. So let's bounce back. Let's see what closers do and bounce back. That's what you gotta do is have a short memory. So I'm gonna start presenting here. Let's see there. And that's right. Only one team threw no hitter were rough categories. This is a new one. But I was able to get, I liked Dotel because he was part of a no hitter, but didn't like throw the no hitter himself because he was a relief pitcher. But I remember that no hitter that Houston threw against New York in '03, and Dotel was the setup man for that ahead of Billy Wagner. Anyway, let's hit refresh and let's hit play. All right, we've got outfielders. Let's do this. About Rico Cardi. I should have saved that one. Alfonso Soriano. Ryan Braun. Andrew Jones. Just doing outfielders. Um, Nitro Morgan played for them, right? And he also played for the Brewers, but I'm going to go with Marquise Grissom. Oh, that was pretty low. How about Michael Tucker? Probably should go on with Henry Aaron there, actually. Bryce Harper and Jeremy Burnitz. Bam, 97. Got under 100, under a minute. Pretty good. I definitely used some rarity just off the top of my head. I'm just like, wait a minute, why didn't I play Henry Aaron for right fielder for the Braves? Why did I go? I remember Michael Tucker as a right fielder for Atlanta, circa 98, 99 time frame. Somewhere in there they get Brian Jordan, I think 99. So maybe 98. Michael Tucker was playing a little bit of right field. Um, Other than that, nothing. Yeah, Marquise Grissom at 1% for the Brewers. He played 3 full seasons for the Brewers, but he also works here. So I can see where he would have been kind of grabbed away. Rico Cardi was sub 1%. I probably should have come up with someone more rare than that. Klesko, or less rare than that. Klesko would have been a much better pick. All right, this will be an interesting rarity round. So let's do it. Stop share and see, start sharing again. This one. Pound refresh. This was the timed version from yesterday, and away we go. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here because I've got a good one. In a season, need to be in the same season. Okay, got it. But just for one game, part of one game. So here's why I'm going to pick this. I'm going to tell a little story. Shortstop Alcides Escobar takes .02. The reason I was at a game. I believe the Brewers were playing the Reds, and this would have been in the 2010 season. So I was home from college at this point, and Brewers were getting beat pretty bad, and there was a couple injury. I think Braun was day to day or something, like not on the IL, but like day to day, and he wasn't available, and we were short on outfielders. And it was just, I guess, decided that's like, hey, we can fill in, like we're getting beat anyway. We can fill in a shortstop where Alcides Escobar plays, and Alcides Escobar is the most athletic defensive player on the team, so we'll put him in left field. That's what I'm guessing happened. Like I said, I was at the game. I wasn't actually listening to the commentary. And I don't know if you can see a clip of this or if it's even I mean you're not going to see it in the box score. Because it didn't result in anything. Basically, there was a runner at third, less than 2 out, and the batter hit a ball to the warning track, legitimately to the warning track. and Escobar caught it and threw it on a fly to the catcher, and it was he was safe, but it was way closer than it should have been. He was like he had just passed home plate as the ball arrived, and he threw a strike from left field, and I was just like dumbfounded, like that it was that close. Didn't matter. I mean, the Brewers lost the game. The Brewers were already losing the game. The runner was already safe. It was just an athletic feat that you wouldn't have seen in the box score. And I was at that game, so I remember that one. All right, that was fun. Let's see here. So for Brewers center fielders, I get to see my sister next week for the holidays. So I'm going to go with her middle school crush, Dave Krinzel. There we go. .03. Look at that guy. So dreamy. My sister had a crush on him. Haha. Let's see here. Some right fielders. So I went with Burnett's on the timed round. He's my favorite player. The picture of me over there is me with Jeremy Burnett's in right field at Milwaukee County Stadium in September of 1998. So right, and he was the right fielder for the Brewers when I started watching the Brewers, and for a lot of my formative years into deep into middle school, I guess. Um, some other people that will work. Actually, I'm not sure on Henry Aaron. He was more of a DH by that point. It wouldn't surprise me if he got a little right field time in there. But I'm not gonna play him. Charlie Moore, who was a catcher who moved to right field when the Brewers acquired Ted Simmons before the 81 season. Ted Simmons, future Hall of Famer, so it made sense that Moore was going to change positions. He played out in right field. Wasn't exactly a power bat for a right fielder, but filled the position. I believe some outfielders from the 80s like Mike Brohard or maybe, but I don't know if these guys were left or right fielders. Dave Parker swung into Milwaukee, but I think was more of a DH. Rick Manning was the other name I was kind of thinking of. Sixto Lascano played right field. So Burnett's covers about 97 to 01. Dave Nilsson played a little bit of right field. Maybe Matt Miesky, I think, was in right field for a little bit. One point the Brewers had Corey Hart is a good long one there. He was the Brewers right fielder from like 07 to 2012, I believe. Braun makes his way into right field. Domingo Santana for a year and change. Yelich works. But man, I'm trying to come up with someone who's going to be like really rare, and the name I'm thinking of is John Vanderwall, who is more of a pinch hitter, but I think he played a little right field. Jeff Jenkins also played a couple seasons in right field, but when the Brewers acquired Carlos Lee, they moved Jenkins over to right field. That was right before Corey Hart. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying I'm very sure John Vanderwall works for the 1 year he was in Milwaukee. There we go. .08. So did pretty well on that one. All right. Let's go to Atlanta. I'm going to struggle a little bit with Expos Nats. That's going to be a little bit tougher. So for the Braves, I went with Cardi. I want to say Bob Elliott was a left fielder, but I'm not 100% on that. I really don't want to mess this up because this is just outfielders I should be able to get. Klesko, big name. Darrell Evans will work. I don't know how rare that's going to be, but he alternated between like left field, third base when he was a Brave. And then Andrew Jones is also going to work, I think, for both of these. Definitely right field. He made some because when Jones first came up, Marquise Grissom was the center fielder, and then they went and acquired Kenny Lofton. So Andrew Jones was a couple of years in the league before he was the full-time center fielder for the Braves. Once he was there, he didn't relinquish it. Until he left the team. So we said Brian Jordan will work here. Kenny Lofton will work here. I want to say Ron Gant will work here. Justice will certainly work here. But Odabe McDowell, I think he'll work here. 0.3. Okay. A little bit higher than the other guys. Dave Martinez, I remember him as a right fielder. I know he played in Atlanta towards the end of his career. So maybe let's try that. 0.03, back with these Brewer percentages. And then, and you know who played left field? Chipper Jones. He played 2 seasons of left field for the Braves. I think Reggie Sanders is going to work. Otis Nixon, I believe, will work. He was more of a center fielder, but maybe Deion Sanders too. Other left fielders. Got Gant, you got Sanders. Really want to go less than Rico Carty. I think Reggie Sanders will work because Brian Jordan was the right fielder and he was a much better defensive outfielder than Sanders, much better arm. Andrew Jones obviously in center, so Reggie Sanders would have been the left fielder for the year he played in Atlanta. Sanders was usually a right fielder though, so maybe that one slips under the radar a little bit. JD Drew played a year in right field. Gary Sheffield played a couple years in right field. Jeff Francoeur played several years in right field. That takes you in about the 2010 time frame. So any number of people played right field, and then Ronald Acuna Jr. played right field. So or left field. Sorry, left field. That's Rosario right now. Rosario plays left field. Ozuna would probably work. I know he was more of a DH. But yeah, I skipped. Yeah, I guess I skipped over to right field because I was talking about Francoeur and JD Drew and Gary Sheffield, which I don't know that any of those people were because like Sheffield was playing right field when Chipper Jones was playing left field, and Chipper Jones was playing left field because Vinny Castillo was playing third base. It's a fun little shuffle they had going on. I'm convincing myself to go with Reggie Sanders. Let's see how that plays. 0.2, so a little less than McDowell. So I'm not going to get a ghost score on this one. That's okay though. That was gonna be a tough one to manage with these guys. I'm gonna go Henry Rodriguez. How do we feel about Henry Rodriguez? Go sub 1. Pretty good there. Brad Wilkerson is a name that comes to mind. Like Ken Singleton over here. He started with the Expos before going to the Orioles. Vlad Guerrero is going to be a popular one. Bryce Harper was obviously a very popular one. And Adam Eaton would work over here. Where did Lastings Millage play? I don't remember exactly. I feel like Wilkerson was actually there for a few years. Rondell White plays in Montreal for a bit. He overlaps with Guerrero. I'm not sure how. Like Rondell White is there a little before Guerrero, but then is probably moving to left field. I think Rodriguez is with the Cubs by the '98 season. He's hitting in back of Sosa. Like Grayson Sosa, I think they flip flop. But Rodriguez was hitting fifth on that team. I remember that. Who else? Who else? I think like early. Oh, Dawson would work. I think for both. But we're obviously not going to do that. Wasn't Gary Carter actually played some right field for the Expos? Wonder how popular that's gonna be. That'd be pretty sneaky. Dave Martinez also would have worked. He's probably the guy from the early 90s that I'm thinking of. Um, and I gotta believe Matt Stairs also snuck in there. He played for both the Expos and the Nationals, so at some point I think he might have snuck into right field. Lots of options. I'm gonna go Rondell White. Rondell White doesn't work. I lose. That stinks. I felt pretty confident on Rondell White playing right field. I guess he was only a left fielder ever, or just the Expos because Guerrero was there. All right, well, I'm going to play Brad Wilkerson, who goes 0.6. There was no need to be doing that. I had 215 options, but Rondell White never played a day of right field in his life. 778 games in left field, 514 games in center field. And for whatever reason, I Mandela affected my way into thinking he was a right fielder for at least some of that time. I knew he played for the Expos a little before Guerrero showed up. But I guess that meant Henry Rodriguez. No, Henry Rodriguez in left. I'm sorry, I was sound in my thinking because if Rodriguez was in left and Marquise Grissom was in center, at least up until this point, but Larry Walker was in right. Okay, also up until that point. I am surprised he never played even one inning of right field in his life. He played 742 games in Montreal, 1,400 in his career, and never played right field, even though I kind of pictured him as a right fielder. I pictured him as a corner outfielder generically. I did not know he played as much center as he did. Well, that is a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? But I guess we'll move on. Did pretty well on the time version at least. My time version rarity score was better than my rarity score version because I got this wrong. So who should I have gone with? Would Matt Stairs have worked? Probably, right? Oh, I was right about Gary Carter. Oh, it's making me think Matt Stairs wouldn't have been right, but Jeffrey Hammonds would have been right. I do have this. Yeah, Matt Stairs would have been wrong too. All right. Yeah, just looking at these names. Troy O'Leary, that would have been an interesting one. I'm gonna save that one for a rainy day. Jose Guillen, I should have gotten. Cliff Floyd, I think of as a left fielder. Otis Nixon, I don't see as a right fielder at all because he was skinny. He had like a noodle arm. Well, Gary Carter I knew, and I didn't think that was gonna be really good. What would out of curiosity, what is Gary Carter's? Oh wait, I don't want to. I'll comment. I'll leave a comment. I need to take a screenshot of the Internet Edge Microsoft Edge version. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna call it there. This video dragged on. I failed. So, oh well, that's all right. Have a great rest of your week going in the holiday season, and I'll continue to be at it. I'll have a little bit more free time during the holidays. Still be working a little bit, but um be able to make a few more of these videos so I can try to catch up on some of the early ones. Thanks a lot for playing. Peace.